finally opening up about how this Irish boy and this American girl fell in love and uprooted our lives in Spain, part 2. Okay, so fast forward to senior year of high school. I was very lucky because I got to leave my high school every day, and I went to a school to become a dental assistant. So I graduated high school and I also became a registered dental assistant. And a lot of people after that just start dental assisting, but I really wanted to continue my education and start college. So I applied to some places and I got accepted to a few colleges, but I didn't know which college to go to. So I started praying about it and I never had a distinct answer on where. It was kind of just go wherever. So I really wanted to go to a college nearby my parents' house, and then I could just live there and save a bunch of money before my mission. But my best friend threw a spanner in the works because she felt she needed to go to a university that was 2 hours away. And I got accepted to that university too, and I just could not be without my best friend. So I decided ultimately it would probably be a good decision before I left on a mission to live away from home to prepare for my mission a little bit. So I'm attending college, and there's a process to become a missionary. You have to do a lot of paperwork and different things. And the leader of my congregation, I met with him and he was kind of encouraging me not to go on a mission, which was very confusing to me because that's the one thing I knew for certain I needed to go on a mission. So he was saying, like, you should just date some people in our congregation and, you know, date around, and maybe your spouse is in our congregation. So after a lot of pondering and prayer, I went back to him and I said, please just start my papers because I know this is what I'm meant to do. So anyway, I needed to meet with someone else for my papers. And I'll never forget, he said, I know you can't choose where you're going to serve your mission, but where would you like to serve? And I said, Ireland. I hope I am sent to Ireland. I'm dying to go there. Okay, Cam, now tell them about your process of graduating high school.
So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I actually repeated my final year of high school, which, yes, it was as painful as it sounds. It's not usual. As far as I'm concerned, most Irish people don't repeat any years of school. In Ireland, the final test that you do when you finish high school is like the most important test. Like, it's very hard to get into college if you don't do well. The tests themselves in Ireland are pretty insane. So basically, the way it works is that unlike other countries where you're kind of tested on a consistent basis, in Ireland, you do one final test after 6 years of high school, or 6 years of secondary school as we call it. And it's like a 10-day long test. So like one day you'll have like an English exam and a chemistry exam. Then the next day you'll have like maths and a language like French or something. And you are literally tested on everything you've learned in those 6 years. Like, anything could come up. Something you learned in your first year could be a question on the exam, and something you just learned in your final year in the last couple of weeks could come up on the exam. It could be anything. And it basically determines your whole future, because it determines what college you can go to. It determines what course you can study. It's pretty grueling, and a lot of Irish people struggle with a lot of stress and anxiety leading up to these tests. So I did fine, but I didn't do as well as I suppose I could have done. And so after lots of conversations with my parents, it was decided that I would go back to school to repeat my final year. I was not thrilled about the idea, but I did it. And I knew I wanted to go on a mission for the church. And I was planning on going on a mission, but then I had to push it off because of going back to school. But I'm glad that it all worked out the way it did, because by going on my mission when I did, I was in the same place at the same time as this beautiful girl. So that's a little bit about me and my school experience. Stay tuned for part 3, where we talk about where we went on our missions.